I'm just wondering, we haven't talked about this. How did each of those three presidents use your resources? They must have used you for different things, different kinds of things that you helped them with. Can you characterize that at all?
I didn't work directly for Bob Martin. While I had a lot of contact with him during the Martin administration, Don Feltner was my direct superior. But I did have a lot of contact with Dr. Martin, and most of what I did during those years was cause university positions to be reflected on paper, and that's what I did then with JC. I was his eyes and ears, his alter ego to some extent, involved with a lot of committee work on the campus. The Division of Public Safety always reported to me, and he involved me in some university advancement work. With Hanley, it was more of the same, although he involved me with intercollegiate athletics and the NCAA and the OVC, federal agencies to a whole lot greater extent than I had been before. The Department of Labor, the Department of Civil Rights, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. I had a lot of, I was essentially the institution's point of contact for all those agencies during Hanley's time. A lot of work with the EKU Foundation with him. Hanley and Jim Clark and I spent a lot of time together in Frankfurt when the legislation was in session.
Well, the whole theme of this program is how EKU has changed and how it hasn't. What do you think are the most important ways that Eastern has changed in the last 40 or 50 years?
Well, scope is one of the things. You know, there are programs on this campus. There are well-developed programs on this campus in areas that weren't even disciplines when you and I were starting out, Paul.
We hadn't even heard of those.
Yeah, we had. Yeah, that's right. You hadn't even. That's right. They weren't even. They weren't even discussion points on somebody's. I started to say PowerPoint on somebody's overhead projector. When John Rowlett was retiring, he was cleaning out his desk, and he called me in to show me something. It was a journal article that he had written in 1951. And it was on the utilization of the latest instructional technology in the classroom, and it was how to use the overhead projector. So that shows when you figure you've gone from the overhead projector to online instruction. That kind of covers it in a one large brush stroke, but. The institution is still as much the same as it is different. It's still a place of remarkable physical beauty. It's still a place of remarkable people. And in my convocation remarks, I use the kind of the DNA analogy that institutions do have a kind of a form of cultural DNA because we get to hire the people that work with us. And I think we look for people that value the same sorts of things that we do. So, what's being taught has changed, but I think the core values, the things that make Eastern truly Eastern, the opportunities that we provide people, the care that we show people, the kind of compassionate place that I think we've always been. I would hate to see those things ever change.
And I just wanted to ask you as a final question, and remind our viewers that Doug Whitlock is only the second person who graduated from Eastern to be president. He and Bob Martin. What did that mean to you personally to be named president of Eastern after you've invested your whole life in this place?
Well, I had retired. I mean, I had completely retired. I'd gone through the RTP and was done.
Computer science.
Yeah, and I taught computer science my last 2.5 years on the campus. So it came as such a surprise, but it was extremely gratifying. Just the very fact that I would be considered was a great honor. It was almost, Paul, it was almost surreal. When it happened in August. In October, when they removed the interim and put me to work through through July of 2010, watching that happen, it was almost like an out-of-body experience. But it's been extremely, it has been professionally fulfilling. I'm enjoying it immensely, even though not everything that you get to do is fun, but I'm finding the job rewarding. I'm finding it, as I say, very enjoyable, and the biggest part of that enjoyment is the ability to work with some excellent people. The faculty and staff on this campus are remarkable, and they have a real hunger almost to accomplish something good and to make this a better place. And I guess if I had to say, that's really been the best part of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking as one who's near retirement, I think many of us are so appreciative of having you be the face of Eastern and representing us, because we know that you'll do what's best for Eastern, and I can say that because you're not gonna give me a raise or anything after today, actually, but hope we can have another conversation another time.
I'd like to.
Maybe not even in front of a TV camera.
Yep.
I'm sure you all know that we have been talking with EKU President Doug Whitlock on EKU Then and Now. Thanks for joining us. Please join us again for our next program.